In the United States, Bitcoin is taxed as a capital gain, which could mean parting away with a significant portion of your profits in Bitcoin. My next guest is a hardcore Bitcoiner who offers a solution. Joining us now to discuss is Katie Ananina, founder of Plan B Passport. Welcome to the show, Katie. So, very interesting what you do. You don't believe the government should be able to take away large sums of your Bitcoin profits, and that they should actually compete. Governments should compete for your wealth and labor. So you offer solution. Explain to us what you do with Plan B Passport.
Yeah, as you mentioned, I want governments to compete for our wealth. And I mentioned it before, and that's what I'm trying to push there into trends, that I want us to incentivize governments to get better. And we're going to do it by, voting with our feet and voting with our money. Now, as we have a better asset that we can basically pick up and go anytime, take our wealth and cross borders, why wouldn't they realize that and try to compete for that by providing better services at better price? So now the book that I recommend to everyone called Sovereign Individual talks a lot about it, basically about how nation states are going to fail because they are not able to, compete in the free market. And I believe Bitcoin is what makes it possible.
Right. And so with Plan B Passport, you offer people in crypto who have made large sums of money and may not want to pay large sums of taxes, have the option of moving to a country that may accept them and where taxes are lower. And some of these countries, they tend to be island nations in the Caribbean, correct? And so uh, just, I'm wondering, how much do you have to pay for this service? And do you have to renounce your citizenship in the process, for instance, if you live in the United States?
Yes, exactly. So those island nations that I work with, countries like St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, Dominica, St. Lucia, they offer citizenship by investment program, which means that you can either donate in the sustainable growth fund of the country or purchase a real estate on the island. And on this basis, you can obtain a passport from this country. So if we're talking about donation, the donation varies between the jurisdictions from $100 to $150,000. Obviously, on top of it, there will be some due diligence fees, my service fees, and mailing fees, notarization services. So I would say, let's say, family of four would be able to get it done around $185,000.
Hmm. Do you have to renounce your U.S. citizenship in the process? Because as a U.S. citizen, you're taxed on your global income.
Yes. So if we're trying to take a full advantage of the tax regime those islands have to offer, yes. But for many of my clients, it is not necessarily, seeking a better tax regime, but basically looking for a plan B, a second option to just hedge against their own government. Like we've seen what's been happening in the United States. First, we realized that we may not have as much freedom as we thought we had. And then there was election where half the country were unhappy with the results. So because of that, people just want their exit strategy just in case if, shit hits the fan.
Sure, a plan B, as it were. But you mentioned that governments should be able to compete for our wealth and labor, and the criticism to that, some would say, is that taxes are a way to give back to society. They help fund schools, pave roads, and several social services. So don't you want to give back?
I don't believe that's the way we actually give back. And I do not support public schools. I do not support the medical system we currently have in place. And I do not believe that taxes is the price we pay for civilized society. The roads are not being built on the money we pay for taxes. I believe that taxes is pretty much a control weapon. And, we've seen how much money they've been printing. Why do we pay taxes? Like, where is the actual budget of the government
Hmm.
coming from? From our income tax? From our capital gains? I don't think so.
And so, Katie, you have an interesting background, and so I'm interested in how did you get to this point? And it's a very unique viewpoint. So, as an expatriate of Russia,
Well, yeah, I'm an immigrant myself. Throughout my immigration process, I realized that having multiple passports, multiple residencies, just even driver licenses may really benefit you in different ways. And I realized that I have more freedom in the country as a just resident and not a citizen sometimes. So I started looking more into this concept, and the concept is actually called flag theory. My definition of the flag theory is to limit your dependency on any one particular state, as well as to stack flags from the jurisdiction that may benefit you in different ways: tax regime, better lifestyle, more visa free travel. So, throughout my lifetime, I just run into so many experiences which made me realize that, like, okay, government is not is not the way the society should work, and I'm trying to accelerate the process of you know fall of nation states, I guess.
Okay, flag theory. So the idea of having multiple passports, living in one place for a certain amount of time, spending your money elsewhere, and there's some of which you don't actually need to pay taxes anywhere because you're not really a resident of anywhere. Correct?
Yes, that's correct. And, it started as a three flag theory, then it became five flags theory, seven flags theory. Now we all have a cyberspace flag. We already have our money in Bitcoin, which is like another flag. And we should definitely remember that. That's, in my opinion, that's one of the most important flags. And then on top of it, you build the rest of your strategy. And there's no, a special recipe that works for everyone. This is a strategic steps that you need to take in order to understand what attack vectors you have in your life, what goals, what needs, what your family requires in order to live a happy and efficient life. And based on all that, you just build your custom tailored, plan and, go forward with that.